the Daily Log with Commander J. Galloway, and I'm just here basically to report how Star Trek Las Vegas went for me. Sorry I didn't get to do these weekly like I was kind of hoping to, but my laptop for some reason didn't like to sync up with the phone that I'm currently using right here, and to the laptop so I could actually dump all the information and save it to the flash drive that I've been using. I bought a 32 gigabyte flash drive so I could try to save all the information, but it didn't work, so my phone ended up filling up literally the first day. So I do have some footage of things. We're on our way to Las Vegas. There's Mike over there, me and Mom. She doesn't talk much. So we're on our way. We're over here at the transit center. Things like the pre-flight and stuff like that, then I'm gonna like intermix and add to this. But basically, just kind of want to talk about the flight and how I got here. So most of you know I live in Beaverton, Oregon, which is a little suburb of Portland, Oregon. So we flew out of Portland, PDX. Fortunately, I didn't take a direct flight. I know this for next time. If you can help it, always take a direct flight. So we ended up flying out of PDX with Southwest Airlines. The flight wasn't too bad itself, and we ended up going over to Oakland and catching connecting and then Las Vegas.
You land over here by the C60 doorway, please.
So far our flight's been delayed. We were supposed to board 4 minutes ago, but it looks like we'll be boarding about 12:20, but they just started making announcement calls. Hopefully it won't be too much of a delay. Over to Las Vegas. Oh, we're finally on the plane. Yeah, I think next year we're definitely going to be taking a direct flight. Just going to Oakland. It's kind of, yeah, challenging.
Good morning, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome aboard Southwest
How far back we had to go. Wow.
2311, service to...
I was waiting for the guy to say something. So Mike and I are sitting together, and I don't know where my mother is. I see her somewhere. It's kind of cool how the clouds are just grabbing. Initially, our first flight was delayed, and we were going to be delayed on the second flight, but they actually managed to get the second flight on time.
On another plane. Make up your mind.
Can't make up my mind. Say hi, Mom.
Hi, Mom. Hi.
So, we're now on our way to Vegas. Alright, I guess I will broadcast when I get into Vegas. It's been an interesting ride. The last. He lies. He lies. When I mean interesting, I mean not really too. So maybe he's not lying.
Good afternoon, folks. Welcome aboard flight number 1919 on our way to Las Vegas. We have 3 flight attendants here for your safety. We have Jason, Erica, and Mike. Shortly after takeoff, we'll be serving complimentary soft drinks, juice, and coffee.
Alright, well.
Beer, wine, mixed cocktails,
Maybe
maybe
near the guy
purchase
over
for
here.
$5.
We're going to be taking
We
off.
do accept all valid.
Stop, Star Trek Las Vegas, there we go. We ended up being there on time. So at first, my mother, who went with me, was Lieutenant Berdina Robinson at the time. I later promoted her, but I'll get into that later. And my first officer, Lieutenant Commander Michael Merkin. We all went, so... And then we flew into Vegas, which was kind of interesting because flying into Vegas wasn't really that bad. It's Las Vegas. It was kind of bad about it though was when we landed, Mom's luggage was actually on the plane. Mine apparently got there before we even showed up, and Mike's, well, what's to say, Mike's luggage showed up at 12:30 in the morning. So that was kind of scary because all he had was his first set of clothes. So yeah, that wasn't very much fun. But in other news, you know, we took a taxi, went over to our hotel. We stayed at the Gold Coast, which is right across the street from the Rio. Not a bad location, not a bad hotel. Trek Las Vegas. Already got our wristbands and our lanyards, and we're all checked in. And we already got to meet Heather earlier today, so that was kind of cool. Well, not earlier, just a little bit ago. And we're going to confirm that we're going to do the Augment show on tomorrow at 2 o'clock. Beyond that, right now we're going to go have some dinner. We're all a little tired, but hey. The only thing I'd recommend is if you're going to do cosplaying like we did this year, it'd probably be easier just to stay in the Rio. Now, if you're just going to be the casual goer and just want to take pictures and listen to a bunch of panels, Gold Coast would be perfect. Their customer service was great, the rooms were cozy, not too big, not too small. This is our hotel room. Our door, Mike's bed, mine and Mom's, our TV, who signs it anyways, our luggage, our fridge, our free fridge, the captain's ready room, which is not my mother, a view of a wonderful parking lot. Huh?
That's what's called bathroom.
No, the bathroom's is I almost said the ready room. The bathroom is the head, is what it's commonly referred to in naval terms. But this is the captain's office. The ready room. This is my area.
Yeah, right.
My computer. This is me. My area. You'll just have to get over it.
No, I won't.
Alright, and we're signing off. Okay, now beyond that, beyond checking in the room, we had dinner, then we met up, and then we went over to Creation Entertainment, and we expected to stay in a long line. Surprisingly, the line was fast this year. Creation did a great job getting us in and out, and we didn't have to wait that long. So I do got to give them props for that. Now, unfortunately, the only negativity I have towards the whole experience was it didn't seem like their security knew too much about their procedures or policies. And I understand they were just doing their job and they were just doing what they were told. I get that, but it would have been nice if they would have known, because the schedule said that people like me who got the weekend 5-day pass, or weekend 5-day, or the general admission 5-day pass, had to wait the first night until 9:15, even though the itinerary said 8:15. Trek Las Vegas Convention. Got our lanyards, as I said earlier, but the problem is we're actually heading back to our hotel because they're not allowing general admission to enter the vendor's room until 9 p.m. No, so ours is 8:15. Apparently they didn't get done with preparing the convention floor because it came from Comic-Con. So they've been working really hard, so they had to push back the gold tickets and everybody else. So because of that, they pushed everybody else back. It didn't seem like most of them knew why, so I actually had to walk back over and ask somebody from Creation Entertainment themselves, and they said, well, the reason they had to do that is because the vendor's room got set up later than anticipated, so they had to adjust accordingly. And that's all they really had to say. I mean, but they didn't. It would have been nice, though, if Creation would have at least passed some information to their security, because there are a couple other incidents where I had to talk to security, and it took me like 3 or 4 different people to try to figure out something. At first I thought I lost something, which ended up being a long story short, where the person I thought I picked up something from, I did, but then I kept doing a lot of cosplaying. I'm getting a little ahead of myself, and basically she held onto the package for me, and I forgot that I gave back to her to hold on to, and I meant to pick it up from her so I can give it to my wife. But like I said, getting a little off track, when I asked them where their lost and found was, they kind of didn't know. So like I said, it would have been nice if security would have been a little more prepared, or at least knew how to direct people to certain areas. But that aside, it was not a bad event. a bad time and experience. Be clear that I'm not trying to dog creation or anything. It's just like I said, it's just a minor inconvenience. But anyways, let's go ahead and move on to the next topic. Now, creation did a wonderful job this year, than they normally do, with getting the promenade area, which is basically the hallway. They had the Borg chamber, they had the Guardian of Forever there again. Usually against the walls though on the far side that easily lead to the main theater, going all the way down to the vendor's room. They actually, instead of displaying artwork, they actually pulled out the Roddenberry vault of pictures. So that was kind of nice. And then there was also a memorial picture slash post thing. Basically, you just had to write your name, and apparently, at least what I was told, I don't know if it's 100% true, but I have no reason to doubt the source when they said that all those signatures and the messages for Anton will actually go to his family. I don't know if that's true or not. That's just a rumor I heard, and if it is, and if it's true, that's pretty cool. Beyond that, we went into the vendor's room, and it was awesome. There were less vendors this year, but MAC Cosmetics, who's hosted the show, had a big booth. That's why there's a few less vendors this year, but it was amazing. They were selling their makeup line product, and they were doing photo opportunities. There are different kind of things that happen, but they also had this one cool little transporter. Basically, you step on the pad, they take your picture, they tell you to pose for a second pose, so basically show you beaming up or down, however you want to look at it, to wherever you're going, and then beam back onto the transporter pad. So it was kind of fun. Beyond that, I mean, they also had your standard vendors rooms. You know, I went and visited the G&T show, went to visit Priority 1. Funnily enough, I kind of actually missed the Star Trek Online panel the first day. And because of that, I didn't get to see him until the second. But getting ahead of myself. And then I walked around and saw a few different vendor booths. Also helped my mother get her first Star Trek uniform. It was a TOS red dress. And she really enjoyed that. And so, like I said, that was basically the first day as far as going to the vendor's room and just checking it out and getting a feel for the entire thing. It was a pretty amazing experience. Let's see here. Also, basically that night, decided to go and try to do some of the after parties, but when I noticed there wasn't a lot going on, I mean, there was a lot, but it was a lot of people, so it was really hard. Kind of showed up a little late to the after party, and I didn't feel like wanting to interject myself into other people's conversations. Kind of rude. But, so we went, and then we decided to go back to our hotel and just chill for the night, and then just come back the next day. That pretty much wrapped up what I'm calling day 0, or the first day, but not first day of the convention itself. You know, we had dinner that night, and, well, my mom, myself, and Mike all had dinner that night, and, you know, throughout the whole experience of the first day, I, talked to my wife, my kids, wanted to make sure, that they're okay. It was the first time I've ever decided to be away for 7 days in a row. So I'll be honest, it was really hard. But being able to talk to them daily really did help. So that was kind of nice that I had the option. And thank you, Facebook, for allowing that. Now you can do video calls. We used to have to go through Tango or Skype, and it always would drop or disconnect. But Facebook calling is actually pretty stable, and I actually enjoy it. So that is all from Commander Galloway on day 0 of this Star Trek Las Vegas experience. This is being recorded after the fact, so I do plan on throwing in some videos in between this if I can. So until next time, look forward to day 1. This is Commander Galloway signing out.
You can't rob Jake caught red-handed gambling when he's on duty.